I'm sorry, this might be one of the dumbest lists I have ever seen published by a major publication. This is crazy. Forbes magazine listed their top 50 rappers of all time. And some of you, like me, was thinking, well, what business does Forbes have at listing the top 50 rappers of all time? Like, why don't they stick with listing the top earning rappers of all time financially? But we are in an era of, making lists, and every publication wants to get involved in some of these hypothetical or at least strongly opinion and preference based lists. But some things are just objectively terrible. And there were a few things that stood out so much that it's not even worth nitpicking the rest of this list. Like saying, oh, so-and-so is like number 31, they should have been at number 26, or is this person really better? There were a few things that to me are automatic disqualifications and totally ruined the credibility of the list, period. So the top few rappers: Jay-Z 1, Kendrick Lamar 2, Lil Wayne 3, J. Cole 4, Tupac 5, Drake 6, Kanye 7. So look, you can argue against any one of those. Like, I don't have too much of a problem at Jay-Z at 1 and Kendrick at 2. I get it if a lot of people do. That is largely going to come down to what era you're favoring over others, right? Like if you're like a 90s head, you might have Tupac, Biggie, Jay-Z higher up on the list, and like Nas, right? If you're an 80s head, you're going to have Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, different MCs from the 80s higher up on the list. If you're a Gen Xer, then you're more likely to have, Kendrick Lamar, Drake, J. Cole. Okay, so there's going to be variance in that. But to quote Drake on 4 p.m. in Calabasas, certain shit is just too wild to reconcile. So for me, the automatic DQs, disqualifications, is having LL Cool J at number 35. Like, what are we doing? They've got Juice WRLD at 27, and rest in peace, Juice WRLD. He was a very talented person, and for those of you who think that he's just some mumble rapper, auto-tuner, nah. Check out his, I think it's on Tim Westwood, his long freestyle. That appeared to be off the dome. Like a lot of things, like 90% of the freestyles that are called freestyles on the internet aren't really freestyles. They're just prepared writtens, really good prepared writtens, even from legendary MCs, prepared writtens. Certain people come off the top: Common, Slug from Atmosphere, and apparently Juice WRLD. So this isn't a knock on Juice WRLD or anybody of the new school or whatever, but again, you've got Juice WRLD at number 27. You've got A$AP Rocky. Like, I like A$AP Rocky, but number 15 rapper of all time, when you've got LL Cool J at number 35, Childish Gambino is 34, one notch above LL Cool J. Disqualified right there. Dr. Dre is barely even a rapper, and they've got him at number 29. LL Cool J at 35. I mean, this guy was arguably the greatest rap superstar of his generation. And he wasn't just locked into the mid to late 80s. He had longevity as well. So he blew up in the mid to late 80s, had a few really good albums. He had that Shots to the Dome album a little bit later on. He had the first two, Radio and Bigger and Deffer. Bigger and Deffer is pretty much known to be his biggest classic. But then if you fast forward to the mid 90s, Mr. Smith was a really big album in 95 that had Hey Lover, Doing It, Loungin', the Lounger remix. These were all successful singles. He had the GOAT album several years later. He had the Phenomenon album like in 97. These were all successful albums. And this is, again, a decade plus after he debuted. So to me, LL Cool J belongs no lower than number like 15, and even having him like 12 to 15, that's really pushing it. It's like, damn, are you sure you want to have LL that low? But to have him at number 35, it's like, get the hell out of here. Another automatic disqualification. No knock to Nicki Minaj, like she did her thing. Like seriously, she was boundary pushing with her art. But you've got Nicki Minaj at number 8. You're listing her as a top 10 rapper of all time, and you've got Nas at 9 and Eminem at 10. And you've got Andre3000 at 11 and Notorious B.I.G. at 12. You've got Nicki Minaj above Nas, Eminem, Andre3000, and Notorious B.I.G. Again, get the hell out of here. I don't even need to go into why that is just flagrant. And then the next automatic disqualification is not having KRS-One on the list. You didn't you didn't put KRS-One in your top 50. It almost makes me wonder if the writers and, you know, list gatherers and publishers and editors, if they published this, then discovered, oh, we forgot about KRS-One. Oh, I guess it's too late, you know, to republish. It's already out there. I wonder if that happened, because there is no justification to having KRS-One outside of your top 50. Like, this guy was the MC in Boogie Down Productions. Like they had Criminal Minded. Like, there are so many quotables off of the first two BDP albums, Criminal Minded in 87 and By All Means Necessary in 88. These are arguably both classics. And then he had Ghetto Music, the Blueprint of Hip Hop in 89, Edutainment in 90, Sex and Violence in 92. These are really good albums outside of those first two classics. BDP had 5 really good albums, and then KRS-One had a solo career. And he was the only MC in BDP. So it's not like it was him and 3 other MCs. No, it was Scott LaRock, who passed away super young. He was shot and killed. But yeah, BDP had 5 albums, so many quotables, so many different phrases and different things that so many other artists used throughout the years, coming from these BDP songs and albums. Then again, KRS-One had a solo career where he launched his solo career with Return of the Boom Bap, that had Black Cop. It had Whoop Whoop, that's the sound of the police. Even the intro to Return of the Boom Bap, it was sick. Party people in the place, the BKRS-One attack. That was using an earlier BDP sample. But even if you listen to those 3rd through 5th BDP albums, you've got songs like Why Is That? Super interesting intellectually, the questions that he's raising, the conversation that he's having in these verses. But yeah, after Return of the Boom Bap, he had the self-titled KRS-One album. That's the one that had Rappers Are in Danger. It had a lot of DJ Premier production. It had that single, MCs Act Like They Don't Know. That to me is vintage DJ Premier. Listen to that song. That song is just a perfect 1995 single off of that KRS-One album. Then he had some of his biggest solo success with the I Got Next album 2 years later, 1997. Again, he debuted in 87, had his biggest solo success in 97 with Step Into My World. That's that bum 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 bum. Yes, yes, y'all, you don't stop. KRS-One, rock on. He had the line, I'm not saying I'm number 1. Huh, sorry I lied. I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Like, again, get out of here. There is no justification to not having KRS-One in your top 50. Again, I have a suspicion that they just forgot about him and then discovered later, like, oh shoot, we left him out. Not to mention the historical relevance in their, you know, battle raps. I'm talking about both LL Cool J and KRS-One. You had LL Cool J with the foundational, and both of that's the thing, these guys are so foundational to hip hop, and LL's at 35 and KRS-One is not on the list. But battle wise, you had LL Cool J out battling Kool Moe Dee, battling Ice-T, battling Cannabis generations later. You had KRS-One with an epic battle against MC Shan, a almost genre defining of the era battle with MC Shan. And even if you hear KRS-One spitting today, listen to how he comes off. Listen to his presence, his breath control, his ability to perform live without, you know, theatrics. LL Cool J just dropped a good album this year. We're in 2024. LL just dropped his 14th album this year, and it was good, really good. Yeah, they tripping. It's like, nah, you take that list back and go work on it. It's not done. You know, your assignment, you know, hand it back to the student, go work on it, turn it back in once it's ready, because this thing is not fully cooked. I also noticed that Scarface of the Ghetto Boys isn't on here. Ghetto Boys had a great career as a group. Scarface had a great career as a solo rapper. He's not in the top 50, but MIA is. Takeoff is number 44, and KRS-One and Scarface can't get on the list. Look, rest in peace to Takeoff. But this is foolishness, and it's not even really worth dissecting anymore, because those are just automatic DQs. Look, I do like some of the additions here. I like that, you know, Queen Latifah's in here, MC Light's in here. Look, Rock Marciano, he's one of those like rappers. Like, you got to know some, you know, 2000s hip hop. I mean, he was a part of Flip Mode Squad for a little bit, but lyrically, he always impresses on tracks. So, I mean, he's a nice MC, but top 50 rapper of all time? Like, really? And KRS-One and Scarface don't make the list? Again, some things you just can't it's unforgivable. It ruins the credibility of the whole list. You've got Cardi B, Chief Keef, Bad Bunny. You got these people on the list, and you've got legendary era-defining MCs that are left off the list. So yeah, I can't even get with this list. I can't even entertain it any further. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you think I'm overblowing this. But to me, that's just crazy. Look, you've got like Rakim and Big Daddy Kane at 21 and 22. Look, wherever you want to place them, whatever. But just the fact that you've got one behind the other, it's almost like they said, let's get some old schoolers in there. And they kind of shoehorn Rakim and Big Daddy Kane in 21 and 22, just so they look like, you know, the editors and publishers look like they know what's up. But I mean, I'm looking at this list and it's just reeks of, tell me that you don't know hip hop without telling me that you don't know hip hop. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this list in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you love hip hop like I do. I'm Woog. Thanks for tuning in.